Hi, I'm Moppers and I want to talk about something. So if you take a look back into my YouTube history, you'll see I have only ever uploaded Dead by Daylight content. But unfortunately, we've gone on a break. Might get back together eventually, but while we're on this break, I think I want to try exploring some other video games. And the first game I've tried recently is Teamfight Tactics. So if you're like me, I have been a fan of the League of Legends universe for years. I love the champions, I love the cinematics, and I recently saw the Still Here cinematic and was like, oh, I gotta play this video game so badly, it looks so good. Kindred, my beloved. I've also watched Arcane. I go deep diving into YouTube explaining the lore with Necrit.
I don't like this joke anymore.
I see the cinematic stuff like Just Another Nobody's dialogue exchanges. I try to keep up to date with the League of Legends content, and I really do enjoy it. But whenever I think about playing the actual game itself and considering it, all I can think about is how the community is perceived.
I have no goodness left. It was taken from me, stolen.
So I resigned myself to never playing League of Legends, but I had a friend recently come up to me and say, hey, wanna try Teamfight Tactics? It's free, and I said, okay, it's free, I guess I'll try it. This game is relatively complicated, but it has pretty much the exact same formula as Super Auto Pets. In this game, you can buy animals from a shop and put them in any order you want. Then you can buy food to provide buffs and additional effects to your little guys. Then send them off to fight somebody else. This game ends either when you lose 5 times or you win 10 times. But the best way to win is to improve your animals. How do you do that? Every few rounds the shop will upgrade, allowing you to buy stronger and stronger animals. Also, if you combined enough animals together, you can make the animals stronger, giving them better effects and stats. And that is pretty much Super Auto Pets. The key to winning is to find animals with similar effects that stack well together, as well as improving your animal's stats enough to beat out the competition. This is essentially the same gameplay loop as Teamfight Tactics, except it's as if Super Auto Pets decided to take 70 Adderalls all at the same time, and they're shaking aggressively as they try to figure out the winning composition. Now, obviously this is an over-exaggeration, but there is a lot more to do in this game, and it's a lot more complicated. Like, take the champions, for example. Look at Thresh. In-game, you could hover over almost everything on this card. It is a lot of information per character to learn. And that's kind of the point. There is a learning curve. You have to play more to experience it. As I got more experience, I realized Thresh is faded, he works really well with other faded, and throw in a behemoth as well, and he becomes a tank. You want to 3-star him as quickly as possible, put some tanky items on him as well, and all of a sudden you have this massive chunky boy in the front line that cannot be stopped. And I'm saying things that you as a new player may not understand, but you have to engage, you have to learn. Actually, let's switch gears again for a second. In the game Slay the Spire, there are so many combinations of cards and relics you could choose from. But you're not going to realize what these combinations will do until you actually use them. Sure, you could see the card and read what it does, but until you play Demon Form, you don't realize that it might not be the best in this situation and wait until later. But this is a deck building roguelite. You don't know if the game is going to give you what you are looking for, so you have to roll with the punches and build what the game gives you. Potions, cards, relics. This game is RNG heavy, but you can turn a losing run into a winning run as long as you have the knowledge to use what the game has given you. And that is where the fun of TFT is. Once you get your first win and you understand why you won, something clicks. It makes sense. There is a method to the madness. Of course, I cannot recommend a new video game if I don't also talk about some of the cons. Keep in mind, these are things that might not trouble you at all, or something that will completely take it away from you and you never want to play again. Totally fine, but here's a few that I have noticed so far. Now look, I love RNG in a video game. The luck-based system can oftentimes add a nice little bit of flavor, so no 2 runs are the same. But sometimes you just can't get the Yasuo. So that's a bit of a con, RNG itself, if you are not into that kind of game. Second con, kind of a plus, kind of a con. This game runs on a set system. Every single set is a season, and every single season has different champions. So if you are going to be playing for somebody in particular, like if you just watched Arcane, you want to see Jinx and Vi, they're not there right now. They're not even in the game. Also, with the champions changing, the traits change as well, so now nothing quite works the same. You have to essentially relearn what goes where, who goes with what, and what does everybody look like, because the skins also change too. Now, to be fair, this isn't exactly a con. It is something that keeps the game fresh, so there's always a constant meta. There's not something getting stale, but it can be confusing for newer players. So I recommend if you are a new player that wants to come in, just look up when the new set is coming, and then start confused with everybody else. So final kind of take of this game, I really like it. Coming into like the League of Legends community, I was always a little trepidatious about it because all you hear is the oceans of salt that the community creates. But in a fast-paced strategy kind of game, fast-paced quote unquote, there's not a lot of time to type to add salt to the wound, so you don't really have to worry about other people, just play your own game. It's kind of nice. And it's also nice that I play a game that makes me use my brain a little bit, as well as being able to play with characters that I have come to enjoy over the years. So this video is pretty much just me explaining why I started playing the game and why I think you should probably give it a chance too. I mean, it's also free, so why not? If you want to learn more about the mechanics of TFT, I'm leaving a link to one of Bunnymuffins' videos, which I thought was a fantastic guide into the game. I am also leaving links to both Necrit and Just Another Nobody's channels in case you want to get both into the lore and more into the atmosphere of the game. And if you made it here, thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe if you enjoyed the content. I really appreciate it, and it helps me out. Also, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear what your favorite champion is. Mine, thanks for asking, is Kindred. I just like the twin aspects of death, and I really like the lore behind them and how they are represented in the game, and I kind of take a little inspiration from it to do something more creative if I ever want to make a story about death. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks again for watching. Bye!